Yo, what's up? So yesterday we talked a lot about the phases of fire development. Pre-planning, where you're gonna have an emergency happen and then you're gonna identify where to gather wood, how to gather it quickly, and how to gather the proper amount and proper type of wood as fast and efficiently as possible. And that's a huge skill set you need to work on. But once all that's collected and you have that dialed in, next is the execution phase. So I'm going to teach you today the Appalachian Bushman School stack method, which I feel is the most superior method in fire building because it does allow the individual to watch what's happening with that actual flame, and then you can add, subtract, or change right there on the fly quickly and efficiently all your resources around that fire and make it work for you. We decide we're gonna make our fire. At this point, I have just a mumble jumble mess because I collected small and medium material. I should not have collected that much large material to begin with. So I have all that stuff together and I'm gonna evaluate what's happening. So if the ground was really wet with this style fire lay, again, the stack method we teach, we can make a platform, okay? So if it was wet, I can grab a couple sticks and I can lay them down right on the ground. What this is gonna do is gonna create a platform that's not gonna allow moisture to suck any of that heat out of the fire that I'm initially building. Now it doesn't have to be larger sticks, it can be just some small sticks here right out of our bundle. I can just take them, grab them, break them down, process them just like that, okay? And that is more than enough for what we need during this process. But in our case, it's not too wet, so I'm not too worried about that. So the first thing that I'm going to do if I don't need that platform is I'm gonna grab a couple larger pieces that I collected and I'm gonna set them in the back. Now, I call this a backstop. The reason that we put this here is because as I light my flame source, I put it in front of the backstop. Once I lay material on top and we begin to stack our material, it's going to create an area between the flame source and the material. It's not going to allow the material to take all the oxygen away or snuff out that flame source. So we're building a little wall in the background, and this is really important for this method. So now my sticks are thrown there, we have our backstop in place. At this point, depending on the weather conditions, you're gonna get out whatever fire starting device you're gonna use and you're gonna pull that thing out, okay? So we're just gonna use a Surefire here from Yuko. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna evaluate our pile. Now I don't have to make nice organized piles at this point. Just quickly take a 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and then pick out your clumps of smaller sticks that you have mixed in there. And it's okay if it's chaotic. It's okay if there's some bigger sticks mixed in, but just quickly go through here and start to grab the stuff you need, okay? So I know right now I have 1, 2, 3, and then I'm starting to work on pile 4 that quick, okay? I don't care about anything else. So I have this started. I'm gonna start up my fire starter. Again, this would be maybe striking a ferro rod, lighting a lighter into a tinder bundle, whatever it may be. So we're gonna strike this thing, set that down in place, and now I have some time. I'm gonna grab my first bundle. Again, small material, literally stack it on top. That's where the stack method originated from. We're gonna stack it on top, just like this. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to evaluate this and work with the remaining materials we have. The reason that I like this fire method rather than building a big fire lay is that if I put this on and it's too wet and I'm looking and it's starting to suck too much heat out, I can really simply remove some of this material and now evaluate what's happening. So even removing it this way, I could say, okay, I could see where it's burning. I can just stack this right on top again and allow this time to burn. While this is burning and starting to create a larger flame, now I'm coming in here and I'm starting to get my next piles ready. So I know what I'm gonna add on. Once our flame's above our current fuel level, I can start stacking more material on. And that way, if the wind's blowing in one direction or the other, I can put the fuel to that side. I'm not trying to battle anything with a big fire lay maybe that I built wrong. So again, we have to let nature take its toll, and we're gonna take in consideration what we did during the pre-planning phase. Did we do a good job or not? And I think I did pretty good for everything being a little bit damp out here. So I'm watching that grow. Again, I'm gonna just stack more material. You can see the flames coming towards me. So I stack to that side a little bit more. And now I can come over here and again, I can process this material out. I'm seeing some small stuff that I'm gonna use quickly. I'm gonna break this down a little bit, small stuff, larger stuff. larger stuff. And now I have another pack that I can stick right on there. Now I can get this stuff that's a little bit larger. And now, as that's burning, I can start to fuel the sides. So I'm gonna lay that right on top there and get my bigger stuff, and I'm gonna start to work this on the sides. So now what's happening was I just stacked that material on. I didn't have to worry about creating this impressive looking fire lay. I built the fire lay as we went along, and we have ourselves a good sustainable fire. And at this point I would be comfortable walking away from that, and especially if I'm by a tree that's already down, I can just break bigger branches and start to fuel that really quickly and efficiently. So that execution phase is literally just lighting that first flame and then building it from there. So it's executing through small flame into something larger. Once I get some fuel on here, we hit the success phase. At that point, we can warm ourselves, we can keep ourselves comfortable, we can cook our food, boil our water, and utilize this fire as a tool for any other way we would need to do it. So this was Dan Walk, Coalcracker Bushcraft. This is called the stack method. It's what we teach here at Appalachian Bushman School. I know I covered this in some other videos, but I really think it's important to understand this method. From what I've learned over the years, this has been the most superior method of building a fire lay that I have found yet. So that's why we like to teach it. And it works for people. They can really watch what's happening inside, especially in bad weather conditions as you stack that wood on. If something's not working right, you usually can see it really quickly without having to dissect this or worry about wind, because you're building it as we go. So you're using the environment and utilizing our resources on the fly as you go along. So give it a try, see what you think about it. As always, check us out at coalcrackerbushcraft.com, and until the next video, stack it, stay in the woods.